Good afternoon, I'm Marty Quinn, running for Oklahoma Insurance Commissioner. I look forward to serving the people of Oklahoma in the capacity as your next insurance commissioner. With 4 decades of insurance experience as an agent, as a manager, having served in 3 different states, Arkansas, Kentucky, and Oklahoma, we feel like that our experience is broad-based. In addition to that, we had the opportunity to serve the people of Oklahoma as a House of Representative member beginning in 2010. And then 2014, we went to the Senate to serve out our final 8 years for a total of 12 years in the legislature. But I tell people the most important experience that I've had is that I've been a consumer longer than anything else. Why is that important? Because we felt the pain of paying premiums. We've also dealt with the issues of filing a claim. All of those things that the average Oklahoman feels is we've been there right there with them. Why is that important? When we start looking for long-term solutions, we've got to lean on that experience. Don't ever let anybody tell you that experience does not matter. It is the key to this election. Why is that? If we're going to change the authority, for example, in the ability of the commissioner to hold companies accountable, that goes through the legislative process. If we're going to change the way that a company does business in this state, with the rules and the regulations or statutes, those statutes go through the legislative process. I'm the only one in this race that has 12 years of legislative experience. I'm the only one that has legislative experience. No one comes close to the experience that we have in the insurance industry. So why is all of that important? We've got to find long-term solutions to making insurance companies be held accountable, but also find ways of being affordable. We also have to find ways that consumer protection is there for our consumers. The last piece of what I call the triangle is that of the legal system. That legal system is necessary. It is there for the protection of the consumer in some cases, and it's there in some cases for the protection of the corporations. But we can't get those things out of line. If we swing all the rules in the favor of corporations or consumers or the legal system, there's always an additional cost to that. The first check may be written by the corporation because that's where the money is, but the last check is always written by that consumer. It's extremely important that we find ways that we can hold those companies accountable and at the same time find an environment that we can increase competition. We want to increase that competition because more competition drives down the cost, makes it more affordable. We still have to look at ways of cost savings. When you have 70-something% or around 70% of the claims from one sector, such as wind and hail, we're going to have to look for cost savings in those areas. Does that mean we have the fortified roofing that's in place? Is that the answer? Or is it that we've got to change the materials to more of a metal-based roofing? All of those things have to be open for us to analyze, for us to find those costs. Reduce risk, reduce exposure, and reduce cost. We'll be well on our way to making insurance more affordable. When we started traveling the state and talking to people, making insurance more affordable was one of the biggest things on everyone's mind. But the other thing that we found out is we've got to have more consumer protection for those consumers all across the state. We've literally heard hundreds of cases of individuals that had issues in having those claims solved. Did not know, didn't take the proper steps to call the insurance department and voice those issues to where that they could then contact those companies. So we've got to make sure that we go across this state, market, promote, enhance the fact that the Department of Insurance has a consumer assistance program. So we want to do everything that we can to make sure that the citizens of Oklahoma can reach out to the Oklahoma Insurance Department and feel like that there's someone there that's willing to listen to them. The department can do market conduct surveys if there's things going on with companies and consumers that shouldn't happen. There's also those actuarial studies that can be made to make sure that the information that the commissioner is receiving is accurate, that it justifies the rate increases that we've been having. The last thing that I would say is that we've got to make sure that on election day, people realize that this is a down ballot race. Most people are going to be thinking about governor, they're going to be thinking about lieutenant governor or AG. Too many people, thousands of people will walk into the voting booth and guess on who next needs to be the next insurance commissioner. So what we want to leave you with is this: experience matters. We've got that experience. We have a desire to serve the people of Oklahoma, and we want to make sure that when we look back 4 years from now, that we've proven to the people across this state that your protection as a consumer is extremely important. So as you go to the polls on June 16th, I ask you to remember your friend, Marty Quinn. Thank you very much.